So as far as investment philosophy goes, I'll spend a couple minutes on this. One thing I want to emphasize too is you look at yourselves, and this is how we view things here at Secured Retirement. Really in the center is the client, that's you. That's the focus of everything. And around that is the planning, but within the planning there's various inputs. You know, we talk about tax planning, income planning is probably the largest one. Legacy and estate planning, healthcare planning, but also the investment. So I only bring this to your attention because this is just one component of the broader planning process. A lot of places look at investments as being the key product that they offer instead of the planning, and I think that we're different in that regard. So we have that flip-flopped, which in my mind, that's one thing that's very appealing about the way we do business here personally. Many years of doing it differently. Really what I'm looking to do here is bring my years of experience to help create investment portfolios to help each of you, anybody watching, any of our clients, realize their financial goals. The way I go about doing this is we want to provide growth while balancing the risks. As we all know, the market's very volatile. We saw this last week. A week ago today, the Dow was down 900 points, and then it thankfully bounced back. By the end of the week, ended up a couple % higher on the week. And we're going to get a lot more into this here too as we look at the individual strategies. The way we do that is we like to capitalize on themes and long-term trends, kind of see what's going on in the marketplace. We're not agnostic. We're very much focused on what's going on in the economy and the market, and then consumer trends as well. And then one thing that we can do too is really customize, get down on an individual basis. So we create all these from the top, put together what we think are our best ideas, and then sit down with each of you and talk about what can we do to customize this. What, do we need to make adjustments based on other holdings that you might have, is one example. Before we get into talking about this a little bit more though, I did want to point out some stuff, and maybe a lot of you have probably seen this before. So I'm coming in at a very interesting time. I've been looking at a lot of client portfolios lately, and they're up 30–40% from a year ago, which is outstanding. I'm thrilled. Remember a year ago, we were just coming out of COVID, the whole coronavirus and the restrictions. I need to level set expectations because a year from now, we're probably not going to be sitting at 40% returns. Hopefully we are. I hope we are. It's just very unlikely. So looking out too, this is going back to 1926, a very long holding period. In reality, most people don't hold stocks and bonds for almost 100 years. Large cap stocks have returned roughly 12%. Small cap stocks are about 16%. Then if you look at the bonds, long-term bonds are at 6%. Really what I want to point out too is your inflation's at 3%. So this is your purchasing power, and this is going to be a theme that we talk about a little bit today and just ongoing. There's a lot of inflation right now for the first time in a number of years, and whether it's transitory is what the key word is being used by the Fed right now, or if it's something a little more sustained, it remains to be seen. But regardless, inflation does eat away at returns. I'm just kind of setting some stuff up here. This is going back 10 years, showing the difference in returns, stocks. The top two is large cap, small cap stocks. The middle are bonds. Then we get down here to inflation and T-bills. So if you notice, inflation is done better than T-bills. T-bills would also be a proxy for like savings accounts and sometimes even CDs. You've actually lost money by having your money put in those. The other part too is inflation's taken a big bite out of the returns of the bond market. And if you look at it, we've had a great bull run in the bond market the last 10 years because interest rates have dropped, pushing bond prices higher. We've gotten to a point, and I talked about this on our webinar a couple weeks ago, where bond yields are now so low, there isn't much more room for them to drop. Oh, I think it's on the next slide. Let's go to the next slide, and we're going to come back to this, and my apologies. So a lot of you have maybe seen this. I like this graphical representation. It's the teeter-totter, showing that as interest rates go up, bond prices go down, and then vice versa. And that's what we've seen the last 10 years. Bond prices have gone up as interest rates have gone down. Well, now our interest rates are about as low as they can go. So there's not a whole lot of room for bond prices to move.